Hello, everybody. This is Paul with the Raw Life Health Show, and I'm so excited about today's guest, Hulda. Hulda, welcome to the show. Thank you for being on.
Thank you for having me.
Hulda, you are taking the Astaxanthin by Valasta, and you have hello. You have something important to tell people because you know this. I get testimonials all the time, but I'm so thankful that you're going to share with what your experience has been with this. So let everybody know a little about why you started taking it and exactly what it's doing for you.
So I inquired about astaxanthin for both fibromyalgia and arthritis. My middle finger on my right hand and my thumb, I'm experiencing arthritis in both, lots of pain in my joints. And I saw a few of your videos with the person who made the astaxanthin, Valasta, to be specific. And I started inquiring about astaxanthin in general. And so not only did I watch many of the videos on Raw Life, but I also researched it outside of Raw Life. And then I contacted you to purchase the item. I wanted to try the item for myself, but also to try it for my family, in particular my mother, who also has arthritis in Jamaica. For many years now, I've been practicing a 90% or more raw food diet. And so whenever I take no medication, and so if ever I choose to take any supplements, anything that could enhance my health, I always sought to get things that are vegan, as natural as possible, to introduce in my body, because as it is often said, we're digging our graves with our teeth, and I really want to minimize that as it relates to me.
Yes, absolutely. Now, how long ago was where you started to suffer from the pain that you were having?
About 5 years ago.
So for 5 years you were suffering, and
yes.
Did you try to do other things, or were you just hoping it went away?
I didn't try to do anything because for me, again, whatever I was going to take had to be as close as possible to its natural form. And I never found anything that could that came close to that until I discovered astaxanthin.
And how long now has it been since you first ordered it and started taking it?
I ordered astaxanthin about 2 months ago, and within a month, the pain in my thumb, in my my middle finger, it just went away. Absolutely went away. I tend to also, I guess because of the fibromyalgia, get tremors in my body, and that was reduced significantly. I also experienced some tingling in my head, and with the astaxanthin, that was reduced significantly.
Wow, that's wonderful. And did you get some for your family since then?
So I'm in the process of purchasing 4 of the large ones for my mother, because I want for her to have a constant supply in Jamaica. And I typically go to Jamaica once every 2 months. So for me, I really do not want for her to be out of stock. And so having had the success with the use of astaxanthin, I wanted her to be constantly she should always have the option, have access to astaxanthin in Jamaica.
Now, in your research, when you were researching and before you bought it, and you just looked at astaxanthin, were you able to discover and see what I talk about, the difference between all the other astaxanthin out there and the Velasta?
I did. For me, I really am anti-powdered powdered medication or supplements. and I saw a lot of powdered or tablet forms of astaxanthin. And for me, that did not jive well with me. And then one of the things that I noticed with one of the astaxanthin that I researched, they were saying that the astaxanthin was not good for some of the things that the liquid form was said to be good for. And so for me, there was incongruence there. But for me, knowing that Valasta, astaxanthin, was the closest form to its natural state in water, I said that I believe in this product and I was going to try this product, and I've not been disappointed.
And the other thing too is, I mean, is the other ones, they tell you to take so little.
They tell you to take so little, and also the quantity of antixanthin compared to the other ingredients. For me, the ratio was off for me.
Yeah.
And so I had no confidence that the tablet or the powdered form of the astaxanthin would be of any effect on my health.
Yeah.
The other thing for me, the fact that the astaxanthin, the tablets and the powder were not red, right? Containing all of the natural nutrients and health benefits that the liquid red form, I think diluting the red, getting rid of the redness out of it also minimized its effectiveness. So in two ways, you're getting less astaxanthin and you're getting a more processed form of astaxanthin. And that for me was a no-no for me.
Yes, yes. And then when you look at the price, it seems like it's so much money up front, but when you compare how much it costs compared to the other ones in a small amount, if you took that small amount of astaxanthin, which doesn't really do much, you got to take it in these quantities. I mean, one bottle of astaxanthin will last you 6 or 7 months because it's so much more inexpensive compared to the other ones. And, you know, people
pricing was never a factor for me.
Yes.
Pricing is never a factor for me when it comes on to my health. Never.
Yes.
I never ever looked at the cost of something that would be beneficial to my health and use that as a deterrent or a factor to determine whether or not I purchase it. And that has never been part of my modus.
Well, that's right? Wonderful. Now, do you ever get your blood work checked by a doctor?
So I am going to, now that I've taken astaxanthin and knowing that I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia, I'm going to make an appointment with my primary care doctor and to do some blood work or do whatever the tests that they offer to gauge the fibromyalgia in my body and take it from there. Yeah, but for me, I want astaxanthin to be part of my daily routine. You know, for me, I do 4 pumps. I do 4 pumps. I weigh just about 140 pounds, but I do 4 pumps. I take 2 capsules daily.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Initially, I started with 3 pumps, and when I read the instructions, it said that, you know, the astaxanthin has to build up in your stomach, in your body, and then over time, with the consistent use of astaxanthin, then you start reaping the benefits maximally. And so I started with 3, and then I moved to 4.
Yeah. Well, that is just wonderful. And thank you for sharing your story with us. And when you get your blood test, get your C-reactive protein tested. It's a CRP.
Yes.
Yeah. And you'll see, because the astaxanthin just naturally helps the body fight inflammation and lowers that. So, and it works great with inflammatory disease and autoimmune diseases. And this is one of the reasons why arthritis and fibromyalgia, it works wonderful with those. Just like with everything, cancer and everything, people having testimonials. So thank you so much for sharing. And for anyone that's interested, I'm going to put the link below this video so you can get yourself some. And I really appreciate you letting people know about your story here. And we continue to pray for your continued healing, okay?
Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening to another amazing testimonial due to Velasta. You can order it at the link below this video in the description, or just go to rawlife.com and place your order. Thank you.
What is Valasta? It's not a medicine, it's a food supplement, and it's natural. Valasta is like juicing 1,000 carrots, 1,000 tomatoes, 2.5 salmon a day, over 1,200 cups of blueberries. That is the antioxidant power that's in Valasta, is that equivalent of food.
Velasta didn't start out with a business model. There was no business plan to do this. This was done for very selfish reasons to save my own life. In 2003, my doctor proceeds to tell me that I have a bone blood cancer called polycythemia vera. When you're faced with a situation where your life is sort of hanging in the balance, the motivation's pretty strong to go ahead and use every tool there to extend your life. I have a master's in biochemical engineering. I was very versed in organic chemistry. I have 41 international and domestic patents. The epiphany that came to me was that there were animals or leaves or something that didn't get cancer. I found these 5 animals: salmon, pink flamingos, sharks, elephants, and naked mole rats. They had done research on this, and they had identified a common carotenoid that existed across all 5 of those species, Astaxanthin. It comes from an algae. I was eating the algae itself, and that went on until 2015. In 2015, I was declared cancer-free. I had no symptoms. What Velasta does is it reattaches the glucose back on to the extracted astaxanthin. The body loves glucose. It's called a Trojan horse, but it'll grab that glucose, and when the glucose goes into your cell, it pulls the astaxanthin in with it. We have arthritis, cancer, heart disease, lupus, type 2 diabetes, irritable bowel syndrome, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, MS. These are all inflammatory diseases. These are out on the tips of symptoms that the doctors treat for. But the trunk of that tree that generates all those branches where those diseases reside are made up of only 4 free radicals. So if we can cut the trunk of the tree off, all of those diseases go away. And that's what Velasta does.
Nature's wealth, good for your health. This is the Raw Life Health Show. Raw Life, brighten up your life.